Oh, you don't have to. Wow, you guys are really good. Good morning. There we go. My name is Neil Matson, and I'm the president of the Montevilla East Tabor Business Association. Just wanted to welcome everyone here today. It's my job to kind of kick this off. And we're going to learn a lot about Oak Street Village today and hear from some important dignitaries from our city and county. There's a lot of hard work that's gone into this site and the process that's gotten us to this point this morning. Just a little bit about me. I'm, like I said, with METBA, Montevilla East Tabor Business Association. We were involved with the Montevilla Neighborhood Association in a process of getting community involvement to get to a good neighbor agreement so that we could partner together in making the Oak Street Village a successful program. I need to acknowledge a few people briefly. Dan Field from the Joint Office. County Chair Vega Peterson. Good morning. Our District 3 Commissioner Julia Brim Edwards, wherever you are. Oh, everybody's over here. And our Mayor Keith Wilson. I think we also have District 3 councilors newly elected here. Thank you for being here. Steve Novick, thank you. Pastor Minnie Miller from Straightway Services, there you are. And everybody else here today from the community, from the city. Before I introduce the next speaker, I just wanted to share my take on this process of bringing community voices together to structure this GNA agreement, Good Neighbor Agreement. As the co-chair of that committee, along with Spencer Knowles, the work we did was difficult, it was educational, and it was rewarding, at least for me it was. And I think what the Montevilla community is getting right is that we have a deep commitment to listening to each other. And when the committee started, we did our best to bring voices, people who have a broad perspective. There was people who were very concerned about the site being here. There were people that were very concerned about individuals living on the street and suffering through addiction, mental health crises, etc. And that committee work was an exercise in listening to each other so that we could solve the problems together. And the process was helped by some important people that spent a lot of time, weekly meetings for about a year. And those people are Roy Cuddier from the Joint Office of Homeless Services. I don't know if he's here today. Zach Curl, a well under vacation. And Spencer, as I mentioned before, and Pastor Minnie Weather, and all of the members of that committee, who some of them I see are here today. And what we did, the end result was coming together to have an agreement that we can work with to help ensure that we're successful at this site. I wanted to specifically call out the work that Commissioner Brim Edwards did, because when you helped us slow down the process to listen to the community, that made this agreement possible. And so thank you for that. Also, I have to give a shout out to something that's a little rare these days, and that's independent journalism. And one of our community members who helped us get this going in the beginning 2 years ago, and that's Jacob Loeb, who's not gonna wanna wave because he's gonna be being independent journalist right now, but he's standing back there because Jacob was the one who in October of 2022 told me something's going to come to Montevilla, and it's going to be something that a challenge that we're going to have to work together on. And so thank you, Jacob, for doing the work that you do, which is rare, and we're very lucky here to have you. So thank you. I also need to thank Heather Riggs from Montevilla United Methodist Church. Where are you? Thank you for sharing your church with our community. And those were difficult conversations, and having spiritual leaders like yourself involved make sure that we come away in a positive way. So thank you for that. Okay, that's enough for me. I want to introduce the chair of the Montevilla Neighborhood Association, Laura Mulligan. Come on up. And thank you again. Uh-oh, I'm trapped. I'm going to go this way.
You bet. Thank you, Neil. Hi. Welcome to this. Thank you all for coming on this perfectly Portland winter day. I appreciate everyone who has shown up. My name is Laura Mulligan, and I am the chair/president of the Montevilla Neighborhood Association, newly appointed, so please forgive me. I'm not that used to speaking in front of crowds, but I appreciate you all. God, I'm so happy to see so many people here. We have elected leadership, we have city and county officials, we have the service providers, and we have my neighbors, because I am a neighbor. I live 2 blocks away from here. So thank you so much for showing up here today. I'm proud of the role that the Neighborhood Association has played in this project. We were messengers, we were conveners, and we were advocates for all the people who are interested in this project. And I think that all the contributions that we provided really helped to shape what you see here today. I'm also grateful to the partnership with METBA, Montevilla East Tabor Business Association, and the collective effort to ensure that the community impact of this project is a positive one. As what he alluded to in his speech, it was really important that we created a positive experience for everyone. And I encourage you all to, what I understand is Straightway Services is conducting a donation drive for essential supplies for our unhoused neighbors. And I believe this is going to be an ongoing donation drive. So I encourage our neighbors and anybody outside the neighborhood even to please bring what you can, do what you can, and at any time that you can. So please participate in that. I know they would really appreciate it. And it just helps them provide a safer, stronger services for our unhoused neighbors. So I also look forward to more opportunities. We're developing a committee to help continue to make sure that we're all looking out for each other. So we're developing the neighborhood association, and METBA is also, as part of that process to help move forward, as this is kind of a living and breathing thing, isn't it? And things change, and things need to be addressed, and things need to be talked about. And so we're going to keep that communication open. And anytime you might, as a neighbor or part of this neighborhood, and you see or feel that there's something that needs to be addressed, don't hesitate to come to one of our meetings, second Mondays of every month, or email us, any one of us, at montevilla.org. Let us help you address it, okay? We want to maintain a positive communication. Now, I have the privilege of introducing our county chair, Jessica Vega Peterson.
Good morning. Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for being here on a day where it is, I think, very clear why we need more places like this to help people come safe and warm out of our cold, wet days. So I think this is a very good day to be gathering together. I'm Multnomah County Chair Jessica Vega Peterson. I'm so glad that we have this chance to come together to celebrate such an important milestone in the work that Multnomah County is leading in creating a diverse ecosystem of shelters, of sites for our neighbors, and specifically this one in Montevilla. I want to thank Neil and Laura for their remarks and for the work that they have done through their associations with the community, with the neighbors, in creating such a positive day, such a positive experience, and something we can all come together to celebrate with this milestone opening. I do want to thank Commissioner Brim Edwards for her leadership. When I was the commissioner in District 3, I really was grateful for the role that I was able to have in a similar way in opening the Laurelwood shelter on Foster, and I think that's one of the most important things we have about having this district representation, which I know I'm glad that the city has as well, so that people can really get engaged and be responsive to the constituents and the work that's happening in their districts. I think the point of understanding and recognizing the needs and interests of the full community is such an important piece to developing shelters and responses for people who are experiencing homelessness. The process to create this Good Neighbor Agreement took place throughout the entirety of 2024, and I appreciate everyone's participation in that. And really, again, I'm grateful for people showing up month after month to participate in that. Your commitment to working alongside us to be good neighbors is exactly the kind of community engagement and partnership that will help us move the mountain as we continue to connect the dots of connecting people to resources in our quest to end homelessness. I appreciate that so many people are here for this sneak peek to celebrate with our community partners who have worked closely with our Homeless Services Department, which most of you may know as the Joint Office of Homeless Services, but they're getting new branding, to make sure that today is possible. I want to give a shout out to some of our other hardworking partners who have made deep investment in time, materials, sweat equity, and care, not just for what's being built on this site, but also for the many people that these 29 shelter pods will support. I want to thank our contractor, Buildscape, our architect, Carlton Hart Architects, and I want to thank Pacific Power for the electrical installation that is actually bringing heat and air conditioning to every single one of these pods. I want to thank those organizations and their teams for their dedication in this work. The work that we're previewing today is part of our larger community sheltering strategy, which calls for reduction in unsheltered homelessness throughout the county through strategic investments in a range of shelter types located in many neighborhoods that provide geographic diversity, safety, and shelter across our county. Stability also means keeping people housed and stable before they become homeless, especially those priority populations who have historically been most impacted by housing instability. We have placed a large emphasis on that at the county, with investments of $3.7 million to continue our progress to addressing gaps in service for our BIPOC community and other marginalized and hard to reach communities. That's why the current budget that we are working with included more than a 25% increase in dollars allocated for housing placements, rental assistance, and support services for people experiencing homelessness. Yes, $9.5 million in strategies to provide safety on and off the street, as well as a focus on streamlining emergency rental assistance so that we can maximize the support that we are providing to our neighbors. Currently, our Homeless Services Department is making significant investments in all shelter types for adults, which includes an ongoing $2.3 million investment for Oak Street Village. Because we know that the dollars are just the vehicle for making the real work possible. This new village is going to provide important shelter and services focused on those who experience homelessness and have disabilities, as well as helps us reach the goals that we've set for our entire county with our community sheltering strategy. Those are all a part of our larger homelessness response action plan. We have to provide shelter as we also are working to make our shelters more efficient. Our community sheltering strategy calls for successful transitions from shelter to housing, We know that getting people into permanent, stable housing is really the end goal. This is a critical component for providing safety and stability for people. This strategy also opens up additional shelter units or beds as people move successfully through our system on their way to their permanence and the housing that they need. I really believe that the dignity of all people who are our neighbors is so important, and the dignity that people receive in sheltering spaces like this one is key to empowering people to drive their own pathway towards housing, with finances, with services available, with a real community that is being built. And this place, as we've heard already this morning, is a smaller community in the middle of a larger community, all of which are neighbors to each other. This village is going to bring that sense of stability and communities to so many people's lives today, tomorrow, and in the future. And I know this is something we can all be grateful for and proud of, that we are in a city, a county, a place where these things are possible. So again, thank you all for being here today. I'm very proud to bring on board as our next speaker, Commissioner for District 3, Commissioner Julia Brim-Edwards.
Good morning, everyone. I'm Julia Brim-Edwards. Thank you. Good morning. This is what things look like when you include community in the process. Thank you, everybody, for coming this morning. It's so great to see so many of my neighbors and the people who helped build this place. And I want to really call out our city partners, Councilor Novick and Mayor Wilson, for your partnership. And also, I want to acknowledge the county teams that behind the scenes did a lot of work to make this happen, the Department of County Assets and the Homeless Services Department. I want to thank Pastor Miniweather and his team with Straightaway Services, who's been a part of this journey for the last year. And also Crystal and the team at PDX St. Love, who've been a partner in the work as well. As was previously mentioned, the site and the provider were selected before I became a commissioner, and it's been a long journey to today. However, Oak Street Village is another step towards accomplishing our goal to ensure that everyone in our community has a path off the streets and a path to housing. Homelessness is one of the most pressing challenges we face, and we know that there's not one solution that's going to solve it overnight. But today is an important milestone because Oak Street Village is one piece of a broader plan. We know that shelters and sites like these are a key link for many to link to safety, security, stability, basic services, and ultimately that path to housing. To the city and county leaders today, we must not stop and admire incremental progress when we still have thousands of individuals living every night without shelter or housing. We need to do more of this. We must continue pushing forward to open more shelter beds, expand housing options, and make homelessness rare and brief in our city and our community. So we have more to do, more shelter sites to open, and many more people to serve. And now I'm going to speak to East Portlanders. If you're an East Sider, as I've been for 50 years, I've lived about less than a mile from here, you often feel things are happening to you and you don't have a lot to say. So when I took office 18 months ago, along with the community, I set the expectation that this site would operate in a way that it was going to be a good neighbor to the Montevilla community. Montevilla is compassionate and a welcoming place. And I want to thank neighbors and the local businesses, specifically the Montevilla East Tabor Business Association and the Montevilla Neighborhood Association for working with the county and the city and Straightaway Services for committing to a good neighbor agreement for the operations of Oak Street Village. And a shout out to the county and the county's Zach and Rory from the Homeless Services Department for their work, getting engaged with the community and listening to people's concerns and actually listening to their concerns and their suggestions and incorporating that and having it informed what we see here today. And their work to create a sustainable agreement that we hope is both durable and sustainable and that assures this site operates in a way that respects everyone. And I've got to say, opening the site may be the easy part. The most important work lies ahead. The county departments, the chair, as well as straightaway services are going to be accountable for ensuring this is a safe, stabilizing, and supportive place for people to begin their journey to housing, that the site serves individuals from this area, and that the commitments that were made to this community are kept. And I commit to supporting the county and the rest of the staff and straightaway services and making sure that this is a successful, effective place to ensure that people have a pathway off our streets. For some, Oak Street Village will be a life-saving place, and for others, it will be their path to housing and employment. I want to thank all of those who will make Oak Street Village that place. So thank you. And next, I'd like to introduce Mayor Wilson, our partner in all of this.
Liquid sunshine. We all knew it was going to happen, right? Well, first of all, I want to just start off by just thanking the souls that are going to be working here. You know, we have to really make sure that we're recognizing that Monteville is a very special neighborhood for me personally. As somebody who founded Shelter Portland, our executive director, Matt Huff, for Shelter Portland's there, in partnership with Crystal Delahante, a year ago, we asked this neighborhood to accept us as we opened the day center next door. And there was some consternation, some fear. Will the trust be given to one another? And we worked closely together with the Montevilla neighborhood. And so I give an awful lot of credit to Spencer, who brought the neighbors together to talk to us. And now Laura, who is now the caretaker of that. And I can tell you, it's been beneficial for everybody, both the housed and the unhoused, and that's the benefit of a relationship. But I also want to just, thank Crystal for her hard work next door, and Bradley, the manager of the facility, and Tiana, who works at the facility. Those are the men and women that arrive every day and do the hard work while we get to cut ribbons and go back to our offices. There are some unnamed people out there that show up every day to care for our neighbors that are in such dire need that we see every day. So it's a real honor to be here, and thank you for the invitation. And this is a real milestone and a great opportunity. We gather to celebrate as we break ground for Oak Street Village, a beacon of hope and a symbol of our continued shared commitment to leaving nobody behind in Portland. When the results of the mayoral race were announced last fall, Chair JVP was my first phone call, as I know our commitment to helping our neighbors suffering and dying on their streets are most important to both of us. Over the past few months, I've worked closely with the chair and her team to synergize and expand our collective efforts. Our journey to this day has been fueled by the collective belief that everyone deserves a safe, dignified place to call home. Oak Street Village will help rebuild lives, reimagine futures, and reignite dreams. Every one of these beds will be life-saving. We know that. This innovative project reflects our dedication to addressing homelessness with empathy, respect, and comprehensive support to help everybody in need, whatever their individual need may be, find that path to their new home, to their new life. It offers not only a bed, but also essential services and opportunities for personal growth and for being a part of this community, our community, and welcoming everybody back to work together for our future. I extend my deepest gratitude to all of those who've worked tirelessly to make this vision a reality, from city officials and dedicated volunteers to our generous donors and steadfast partners. It really is a partnership that's going to take all of us to wrap that blanket around each one of these individuals to make sure that we're caring for everybody, not only them, but it's a care for us as well at that same point and along that journey. Your contributions have laid the foundation for a brighter, more inclusive future. Together, we are building more than just structures. We're strengthening the very fabric of our community. We're creating a chain link fence where we're not going to let somebody stand alone, but we're going to work together to make sure that we are on this journey for everybody's recovery. As we look ahead to let Oak Street Village serve as a testament of what we can achieve when we stand united in our commitment to Compassion in Progress. We've all know that this is the renaissance, or this is part of that journey, a part of that new beginnings, that we're all hopeful for Portland, and we're here to celebrate that. And we know that together, if we work together, we will repair and we'll restore and revitalize this community that we love so much. And so I'm proud to be here. I'm proud for this honor and the privilege to be here, and I thank all of you for your support, not only today, but in the difficult weeks ahead, the months ahead, and the year ahead, to really bring Portland back to the community we all know, we love, and we respect. And thank you to my counselors who are here as well. I really appreciate the teamwork. Thank you all for this opportunity.
Well, I guess David has made it here. I'm a pastor, I'm not going to preach. But David was told that Goliath was too big. Said he couldn't beat him. And they said they had some greater fighters, then they should never put him out there. He's not prepared, he's not ready. But we saw what David did. I'm here to do what David did. I'm here to beat all odds, all negativity, and if I can get everybody here just 1 second, love. Can you say that with me? Love. Yeah. Now we're going to make it. We're going to make it now. Because that's what's going to make this whole thing happen. And when I originally came from where I came from, my story it's real. I'm about 27 years ago, I got off of crack cocaine. I was told by many people that I was those people. They told me, they said, look at you. Look, all tore down and you don't care, you don't want it. I got all the punches that came along with it. But I'm here to do something that I know can be done because it was done for me. And I'm here to do that for somebody. And if I can do that for somebody, that would be the greatest moment of my life, because I remember someone saying, you're very intelligent. You shouldn't be where you are. You have so many, you're charismatic, what are you doing? And it took that person to just say that to. It was one person. It wasn't 10, it was one person. And that one person is responsible for where I stand today, 25 years later. Born here in Portland, Oregon, 1960. Child of Vanport. Just want to let you know, I know my history of where I'm at, and I knew when I stood in this podium that I would be facing a lot of issues. But my 2.5 years, because somebody said a year, I want to clear up the record, my 2.5 years from the first time I was announced on Coin 6 as to being the provider of this beautiful facility that was coming, and 2.5 years later I'm here. But that was 2.5 years. I made every meeting. I made every adjustment. I made everything that I needed to do. So I became a rent well instructor. Yeah, because I wanted to be the housing specialist here, and I wanted to make sure people got back to some apartments. So I went and studied and studied and studied, and I am an instructor today, and I can give them their certificates after they complete the courses. And I thought that that would be special in a place like this, to be able to not only help them with that, I have some connections with Easter Seal. They helped me employ the elder, 55 and older. I know some of those people are going to land there, veterans. They pay them to work at nonprofits. Matter of fact, is there one of my my veterans around here from the nonprofit? He's back there. There's another one over there. Is there another one here? Is there somebody else here? See, I know that you cannot come and get 3 months rent paid with no job. No. This is not going to work. We're sure that you'll be homeless again in about 90 days if there's not someone reconstructing the whole process for you to be able to get you back to understanding that, hey, you can put me there, but how do I pay the rent? That's right. And if you can help them pay the rent, I think that's going to be a little more efficient and cut down some of the recidivism. Is that a word? Okay, some of the recidivism that we see. But I'm just proud to be here today. I thank Commissioner Broom. I mean, it was a fight. But I'm a fighter. I was born on the streets of Portland. I'm a fighter. This is my city. I claim it that way. Like you claim Montevilla, I claim my city. This is my city. I'm not from Chicago. I didn't fly in from New York. I'm from Portland, Oregon, child of Vanport. So again, it's an honor and a privilege to be in the position to be able to give such a lovely structure unto people that they can start to really understand that this is just not a place where we're saying, you're just needing this and that. No, this is a place where you get to find yourself. You get to be yourself. You get to make up your own path. And we're just here to support you to that path by giving you no advice. I have no advice for you. But I have resources, and I have partners and friends that I can connect you with that can probably help you with the issues that you face. But I'm just glad to be here today to be able to look someone in the eyes and say, I can help you. And that's important to me today because somebody looked me in my eyes 25, 26 years ago and said, hey, I can help you, Dwight. And they helped me, and again, I want to thank Paul. Where Paul at? Paul's out there somewhere from Billscape. Paul is a great guy. He did the lovely touches around here. I also want to shout out the same names that were shouted, Neil, and all the great work, the mayor and everyone who's been a part of, Dan Fields, who has most definitely stood by me, supported me in a way that people lied and said he wouldn't. Yeah, they told me he wouldn't, but I can tell you today from my heart, he's a rider. I don't know if you're from my neighborhood, but a rider is somebody who will get in the car with you at any time and knowing that the odds are against you when we're riding. So I thank him for standing with us, and I want you guys to know the community part was very important to me. So that year of meeting, and Spencer and us, and we had some great times. We just sit there and we hear all the stuff. And I just got the last one for you before I go. I was in one of the meetings and somebody stood up and said, I can't believe it. I said, what? You're gonna build houses out of pallets? And you're gonna put people in pallets? And I was standing there like, and I just wanna say something to everyone here as I exit. Lack of information allows your imagination to run anywhere it wants to go. And if you want to know something, get the information. So for everybody here, glad to be here, glad to cut the tape and celebrate together. Hope to be here many more years. And as Dan Fields comes forward right now, my buddy, I'm gonna get on out the way.
All right, I'm the home stretch here. I'm Dan Field, Director of the Homeless Services Department, formerly known as the Joint Office. And I do want to do a couple of additional thank yous, and then we'll all go over to the ribbon cutting. I want to just thank our elected officials. You've heard them speak. Want to just mention we were joined by another Portland District 3 City Councilor. I'm trying to get all the new words right. Tiffany Koyama Lane, sitting next to Councilor Novick. So thank you both for being here. I want to echo the thanks for Neil and now Laura and Spencer from the Neighborhood Association, and on behalf of them or in recognition of them. I just want to say not everybody knows what it means to step away from your family, your work, your obligations on a Tuesday night and go to a neighborhood meeting with bad coffee and long speeches. And people from the city and the county, but you did that, and I thank you for that. And your community is better because you were willing to do that. And I think everybody here owes our Montevilla community leaders some appreciation for their work. I want to thank Pastor Miniweather and the entire Straightway team. You have quite a challenge ahead of you. And it's not easy to raise your hand in the face of a challenge and say, I'll do it, I'll lead, I'll step into that. Yes. And I'm going to tell you, it's also when you're a leader of color, yes, and especially a black man, it comes with additional expectations that we don't put on everybody. And I've watched Pastor Miniweather and the Straightway team and the leadership there, Toya, step forward, persevere for 2.5 years. And here we are on opening day, and I know that It hasn't been easy, it won't be easy, but we'll continue to do it together. We'll be there to walk with you and the people who live here with you. Finally, I hope you'll indulge me. I do want to thank my Multnomah County colleagues, my City of Portland colleagues. Mayor Hank Smith also was here on a Tuesday night with the county staff, many of whom are here, hanging in there. You know, we take your tax dollars seriously. We take the commitment of SHS funds or city or county general funds. We take those dollars very seriously. And I will also tell you, it is very difficult to take those dollars and translate them into this. It takes a lot of vision and a lot of work. And I want you to know that your public employees, whether they're at the city, the county, the metro, or the state, they are doing that work for all of us. And I want to appreciate them today. A couple of additional community people. I see Pastor Heather Riggs out there. Thank you for opening your doors to us. Those were some tough meetings. There was some screaming, there was some tears, but we survived and we got through it, and we're here today getting ready to serve people. Thanks to you. Thanks to Matt Huff of the Portland Central Nazarene for hosting the Good Neighbor Agreement working groups. I want to appreciate that as well. Yes. Before we go to the ribbon cutting, I just want to remind us that we're here to celebrate everything that has led us to this point. And I would ask us now to turn our focus to where we're headed. We're moving forward to serve people, to bring people into shelter, to put them on the path to housing. We'll have some hiccups, we'll have some up and downs, but if we lean in together, we will continue to make this work matter and make this work successful. So on behalf of the county and everybody who is here, let's go cut that ribbon and get going.